Nestled along the Mediterranean Sea lies one of Spain's best-kept secrets, the Costa Blanca. In the summer, tourists flock to its sandy beaches in droves, but during the winter, much of the town slips into hibernation, and a different sort of visitor arrives. Two of the world's best professional cycling teams, Astana and Omega Pharma Quickstep, have arrived for the start of training camp and performance testing with specialized racing.
It's not that much fun, but it means it's good for training camp. You know, you've got nothing else to do except ride your bike, and it gets you in a structured environment away from home.
I think today will show us where are we exactly. So far I've been training alone, so I have no idea how bad am I really.
The deserted roads and surrounding hills make this an ideal place to begin training.
Riding here is very good. I like it a lot. Maybe it's because I've been coming here already for 15 years to do my preparation for the season, so I know the roads pretty good.
The hallmark of Team Astana is Tour de France frontrunner Vincenzo Nibali. Considered by many to be one of the strongest stage racers in the peloton, the Italian punctuated a dominant season last year by winning the 2013 Giro d'Italia. A victory at the Tour de France this year would complete his Grand Tour treble, a feat only 5 riders have ever accomplished.
Il fatto magari di avere una pista qui vicino a Valencia ci permette di fare dei test proprio durante il ritiro per cercare di poi andarli a provare anche su strada.
For OPQS, all eyes are on UK sprinter Mark Cavendish. Cavendish's specialty is simple, sheer speed. Originally a track cyclist, Cavendish prides himself on being the fastest man on 2 wheels. And with 25 Tour de France stage wins under his belt, he has the record to back it up.
Fundamentally, everything's built around training. You know, if you look at it in Formula One and MotoGP, like testing, you know, it's kind of the same, except we're testing our engines, our bodies, you know.
In less than 7 months, both teams will be competing in the most prestigious race in the world, the Tour de France. Over 23 days, they will be pushed to the brink, riding 3,200 kilometers in one of the most grueling endurance events on the planet. From this point on, every ounce of food consumed and kilometer ridden will be tracked to make sure they'll be in optimum shape for the start of the race. The start of any season begins with the basics. This includes evaluating the physical capabilities of each rider. For Team Astana, the first test is often the most taxing and telling.
We did some blood lactate testing on a climb to establish everyone's threshold powers to set the training zones from there for the rest of the year.
Cercare di capire quali sono i nostri valori di partenza per l'inizio stagione, quindi il lattato serve per cercare di capire quali sono i nostri valori per poi andare a elaborarli nel computer.
The human body can only withstand a high-intensity workload for a limited amount of time before the body's lactate levels rise to a point that will cause it to shut down. The work done here will give a value to set workouts for the rest of the year.
Because I had the long run there?
In cycling, 2 things are certain. Aerodynamics are everything, and a 1/10 of a second could be the difference between someone winning and someone losing. In order to ensure a rider is achieving maximum speed, Specialized Racing has built a state-of-the-art wind tunnel to test this. Another Tour de France hopeful, Alberto Contador, is hoping his time here will help him decrease energy output and increase speed.
I think that the aerodynamic in this moment is where you can work more. Now here in the wind tunnel, small things that other people haven't. And for me, this is very important.
Hailing from Spain, El Pistolero is one of the 5 riders to have won all 3 Grand Tours. His career has been marked with triumphs and setbacks. But with his target set on donning the yellow jersey for a third time, preparation like this is everything. Back in Spain, teams Astana and Omega Pharma Quickstep enter a controlled environment for more extensive testing.
When you have to go to the next speed, you take the entire lap to go up to speed because you want to avoid spikes in power.
Here, specialists can study even the most minute details, like a rider's seating position, and quantify how the slightest changes made can reap maximum gains for the rider.
Here we're doing like aerodynamic testing, different positions on the time trial bike. They've got the telemetry systems up, they put stress gauge in the power meters on the bike and measure airflow or pressure against the bike to get how aerodynamic the position is.
Using science, along with cutting-edge technology, Specialized Racing gives its riders the equipment and data they need to succeed.
Si riesce a ottenere dei risultati molto importanti da un fit test come questo qui che abbiamo fatto oggi, quindi a posizione con i vari video, i vari sensori riusciamo ad avere.
Our main goal is performance. We have to identify the needs of our teams and our individual athlete. So Specialized Racing is in charge of providing this and making sure that these equipment are always the best that the athlete can get.
Specialized Racing is like no other bike company in the world. To simply not just make these fast bikes and give them a sponsored team, but to make the individual riders go faster.
Like the bicycles they rely on, winning an event as demanding as the Tour de France involves a vast multitude of moving parts working together in perfect synchronization. Rider and team must learn to work as one as they prepare for the daunting task that lies ahead. The irony, however, is inescapable. As important as the team is, when the race begins on July 5th, winning or losing will ultimately sit on the shoulders of a few.
Tour de France is like no other bike race in the world. It's one of the top 4 sporting events on the planet. It's watched by nearly everyone, even people who aren't into cycling.
È qualcosa un po' di difficile, impossibile, ma non proprio impossibile, quindi si può raggiungere, quindi in qualche modo facendo tutto e...
Training hard for the tour, to go fight for the victory.
It's so much faster, the emotions are bigger of everything. It's an emotional roller coaster. It can be disappointing, but it can also mean elation.